What's up, Ghosty Donuts? That's a dope name. That was way louder than I remember it being. It actually spooked me. So what you doing? What's your Fire Emblem knowledge since you're here? Because it's always fun to question people that. Where do you sit on the realm of like knowing about Fire Emblem? You're like 75% of the way. Well, actually no. So we'll see how much of an FE nerd I am. What is your definition of what makes someone into an FE nerd? Understanding the meta for each game, which units are bad, and details to keep track of. That's what you consider the end. So for every game though. All right, so games where I know the meta. We have, I know the meta, and I have to say it. I'll have to say what it is, and then I don't know the meta. All right. Actually, let's go for I don't remember. Let's make it I don't remember, but like I knew at one point. All right. So I don't remember Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I don't know for Heroes because it changes every goddamn patch because it becomes 5 paragraphs for a skill. But I don't think those count, in my opinion. Let's see, 3 houses. It's literally just make everyone a Wyvern Rider, and then you know your obvious 3 lords. There's always usually like Felix is like the big go-to one for Blue Lions. It does a lot. Hilda's usually pretty good. Lysithea is the big funny. Warriors is just mashing. I've never cared enough to actually learn. Echoes, I know the meta. The meta, well, there's 2 different metas for Echoes. There is Dread Fighters, and then there's just mages are fucking broken. Getting Titania and just like healing every turn, like the map wide heal. And then like if you get Saber is hilarious. If you get Gray to just loop with a Dread Fighter, and then you just go to end till he has max stats. And then there's also just Python, so like any of the archers, you just archer. You just Hunter's Volley everything. All right, let's be real. The meta for Birthright is Ryoma. The entire meta is just Ryoma for Birthright. I know that's wrong, but like that's what comes to mind, right? The same goes for Revelations, right? It's just Royals. Like there's very few standouts that are not just Royals, or like children are Royals, because I'm gonna exclude the kids. Like the only kids I'm gonna count are gonna be FE4, because like that's different. Saizo is generally really fucking funny because you can get him on both routes, and Saizo is also just like good for that. All right, Awakening is hilarious. You want to know why I know the meta for Awakening? My proof is me beating it on auto battle. Ignore my VTuber. I know the like 4 units that are required to beat this game without playing the game. Does that count? Which it is just dragons. Dragons are you just Naui, Tiki, everything. If you exclude the dragons, like Long Q is hilarious. You can do so much funny stuff with Robin because you just Nosferatu. I use Naui Frederick, which is a hilarious thing. So like I know the meta for Awakening. Radiant Dawn is also Laguz Royals. But there's also a lot of funny stuff you can do with a lot of people. Because like Shinon is a piece of shit, but he's like very good in the game. Being able to take Provoke off him too, but like the benefit to having Provoke on him is like everyone will go to attack him and he's an archer, so he won't attack back and then like continuously kill shit. So you can plan stuff a little more. Har is just like the actual meta. Oh no. I know the era of modern FEs. We're working backwards right now. We're working backwards. Give me time. Let me cook. Normal Laguz are pretty ass. There's like Renolf is okay, but like realistically, if you're gonna bring a Laguz, if it's not the Dancer Laguz, you just want the Royals at the end. Soth is mid, but you use him a lot early game to avoid all of the non-brigade bullshit. But Edward/Nolan can be good, but you have to invest. All right, so this one in Japanese, there's 3 different metas you can do here, because I have played the ROM hack for this one. It so much depends, because Marth is insane in this game, and then Chris, so your self-insert. Your self-insert's funny because if you either make them a Wyvern Rider or make them a Armored Knight, the game cannot touch you. Especially with Armored Knight, the game cannot touch you until like the second to last map. You can literally just take no damage. I'll be so honest, I don't remember the normal meta for Shadow Dragon. I just remember it not being hard. I like my meta for Shadow Dragon should just make a whole bunch of Pegasus Knights. Actually, no, wait, no, I do remember. It's make a wolf and the other guy that's under Harden has green hair and I can't remember his name. You just change their classes to hero and general, and you can win the game because they reset levels and they have like 140 growths or something. So now we're in Path of Radiance, which I also know the meta for that. Because like Ike starts out really strong. He's not crazy. You generally just want to use Titania for a good chunk of the early maps if you don't want to worry about it too much. Jill can be very good. You have to invest in her. It's the horses. Yeah, having Kanto, the funny Kanto, it's insane. Because like Kieran is very good randomly. Titania, Kieran, you always make good use of Oscar. Boyd can be okay, but like, he's one of those like he's either going to be good or he's going to be bad. Oh no, I said Makalov. Makalov's like memes aside of him being a bad character, his growths and stats are actually just not worth it. I can pretty consistently beat BK. I've lost twice out of the 10 times I've played the game, and then I reset and then did it again. But you know, and then now we're in Sacred Stones. So like Seth is the meme meta. Like Seth is a very big part. He'll carry you through most of the game and is very much a super usable unit at the end. But now in Sacred Stones, there's like 2 different metas. It heavily depends on the route you go on, because generally the frame route meta is better because you get Cormag and Dusel at a lower level, and they have really good growths and they have relatively similar stats. So like the real endgame meta is Seth, Cormag, Dusel, Myrrh, because Myrrh can actually just solo the final boss. You just have to not let her die to an arrow like early on to level in her. That's kind of really it. Yeah, you get them as Erica, but you get them lower, like higher level, and they don't level as good as they normally would. And then Tana's like pretty okay. I end up using Tana a lot. Vanessa is good. I just tend to invest in Tana more because she has a higher strength growth. If you want to go training route, Ross is phenomenal. Amelia is like kind of okay. She's worth it. Ewan, like he's good, but he's not worth it to me because it's way too annoying to invest that late in game, because you can just use the Tower of Volney, but like it's an investment, you know. And then we move on to FE7, and like Hector exists. We get him very soon in FE7. Ross is pretty much the only rookie I use in FE8. Like straight up, I find it too annoying to do the other ones. Yeah, Hector, Raven I kind of have hit or miss, but like those 2 are very good. Like Hector is like very clearly top. Hector and Pent are insane, like insane. And you get Athos at the end of the game for the final chapter. He's hilarious. Florina is usually very, very good. Hawkeye is the other. I was getting to Hawkeye. Hawkeye is the other like funny one. Axes are phenomenal in FE7 after not being phenomenal for a while. Heath is pretty good. Heath is very good if you invest in him. Yeah. So then we move on to FE6. I don't remember. So I have beaten. But you do Filat? Wait. Why are we talking about Holy War? Actually, here, let's see if I can, like, Fire Emblem Binding Blade. Tate is the really good one. Percival ends up being really good if you get him early. You have to get him early for... Rutger is the funny... Okay, I forgot Rutger. Rutger is insane. If you go the other route, Gonzalez ends up being very, very good. She's good. You're usually pretty decent. You fall in the same category. Echidna ends up being kind of in that category too. You end up being in that category. I can't say you're like phenomenal, but you're very good. You kind of end up in the same boat. Zealot ends up helping all out. Actually, yeah, Zealot ends up helping out a lot. You also... Oh, Deke is also crazy. Deke is crazy. For my playthrough, you were insane. Realistically, you're probably somewhere in here. You end up being pretty okay. I don't really want to bother with ranking everyone else because there's a lot of characters, but this is like from what I remember, this is the meta. So I'm still like, it's like in the kind of remember, but like I'll put it in I don't remember. I mean, I don't know the meta of 1, 2, or I know the metas of the remakes, not of the original 3. I also don't remember, like I did it, and I don't remember the meta for that. Never played that. Oh, now we're on to these 2. Okay, I know the meta in FE4 because like so much of it is said. And then his kid, as long as you hook him up with like one of 3 people, so then you pass down Forseti. That's most of the meta on top of Sigurd being insane. Sigurd and Seliph are just crazy, and then Julia just being able to literally just one-shot the final boss. It's just why. It's just silly. Oh, Engage! Engage isn't on here. Oh my gosh. Wait, so before we do anything, when it comes to characters, in terms of meta, where the fuck is Corrin? Actually, wait, let me add a row above of S+, because like she is so hilarious. In terms of rings, we'll just quickly do rings because there are some insane ones. I'm gonna mostly not focus on DLC ones. Marth's is pretty, it's like in the S tier. Tiki's is hilarious. Sigurd's is very good because just having Kanto. Yunaka is crazy. Knife 5, especially it's late, it's just insane. Makai is also very good because you can like warp 4 people at once. Oh, let's just warp 4 people at once. Casually. So I think I can, oh wait, no, yeah, back to Engage. Alir ends up being in like the good, like extremely good, whatever. You fall off super hard. Where's Yunaka? Because Yunaka's going also in like the crazy. So is Ivy. Ivy is insane. Hortensia is pretty good. Kagetsu is just Teehee Lomao. You're also crazy. Zelkov ends up being very good. Not as good as Yunaka. Yunaka ends up being better. Lapis ends up being very good. Louis, for your first time playing, Louis is an S. Your second time playing, he's an A, because you move a lot faster. Alcrest ends up being very good. Diamant, in my opinion, just goes a little below Alcrest. Just Luna Archer, come on. Goldberry is just kind of okay. You also end up being very good. Unfortunately, Rosato ends up like right here, but it's funny, so I would put him in S. Pogato ends up being pretty good. Etier I thought was crazy my first playthrough, and then afterwards I'm like, oh. I thought Ike was going to be crazy. It's kind of Lynn like definitely falls into like very good, especially with Speed Taker. Byleth, because like multi-dance is crazy. Who's the dog? I don't know what we're talking about. Ooh, oh wait, Sami. Oh my god, you're so right. Sami's an S+. Yeah, so I'd say I know the meta for Engage. All right, so back to it. So we know Engage. So for Thracia. So my first experience playing Thracia, my only experience playing Thracia. You know, I'm gonna say I don't remember. I had to learn to be able to beat the game. So this is all the very long-winded question for am I the 100, like do I fit in the 100% FE nerd? Because that was where this all started from. My answer is probably, which is my favorite. All right, let me reset this. So I will tier this. Any game I haven't played, I'm leaving below. And I am biased as hell. But this goes right here for me. Echoes is presentation, like it's the Fire Emblem game that made me feel something. I love Echoes so much. I think it's a phenomenal game.
So good.
Etier, so the real problem with Etier is she falls off. She starts really strong, but her personal skill is mid, and the next archer you get is Allcrest, who has a personal skill of Luna and has better growths. That's why she falls off. Is you just get a objectively better character. Fire Emblem Heroes is a meme. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with Heroes, because it's like, that's a cool PNG, I'm gonna pull them. And then I close the game for 5 months. I have a really big soft spot for Radiant Dawn, because it was the first one I ever beat. I think Awakening also goes in like that top echelon for me. Engage is also in here, by the way. Probably actually right after Echoes. Because I have never had more fun in player phase Fire Emblem. Because the problem with Radiant Dawn and Awakening is you throw someone out into the middle of the field and you hit start to skip the turn. The benefit to Echoes has is they're a lot smaller maps, so there's not really as much time to do that and it doesn't happen as much, on top of their story being better. So those are my like masterpieces. I will happily play them anytime. FE7 probably goes in the next tier under. I think both of these. I think Shadow Dragon. This one's better than Shadow Dragon. Oh, so if you ever wonder, so the first time I got to like actually play Fire Emblem, me and a couple friends, we did a thing called Drunk Fire Emblem. So we would, if anyone died on a map, you would restart the map and you'd have to do it all over again. And Radiant Dawn, this early game is not exactly known to be easy, We are probably like 3 shots in. The 4th time doing this map because I was refusing to use the Black Knight because I was trying to get XP. Commiserating, say it ain't so, I will not go, turn the lights off, carry me, na 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 na. I love this video. Come home, work sucks. Path of Radiance also goes in the like extremely good category, especially if you're new to the game. I'm a Tellus fan, but to me, Three Houses follows here. My problem with Three Houses is you play the same game for the first half and then it splits. And if you could just start at the middle point in different routes, I think the game would be significantly better. You know, like Lin mode, given like a slightly tailored experience, I think it would be. I think I would have enjoyed the game a lot more. And arguably, Claude had the least reason to fight Nemesis out of all the other 3 routes. He had the least reason to be the one that fights him. 100%. Edelgard's makes significantly more sense, especially if that was in the secret ending one. That would have made significantly more sense. I think Conquest is a good game. I think Birthright is Ryoma Simulator, and I think Normal Fates is just too much effort. I don't think they're bad games. I just would rather play other ones. FE6 it goes in the decent. I might be a Roy main in Smash Bros, but here he's kind of mid. I would put this here. You go in the... Thracia had a lot of good ideas. It tells a very good story. So there's the like random 1-hour rant on if I'm a Fire Emblem nerd.